are now in the realm of, hey, I want you to achieve this goal that I have, which is to find out what can be done about the social media and manufacturing. And I want you to go do your own research. Agentic AI is the buzzword in the world of AI today. Welcome to Tokimeki Podcast. And we talk about different business topics, sharing our experiences and some of the tips. But today, I do want to talk about AI. And AI is such a broad term that I think I need to help kind of set some definitions or baseline shared understanding of what do you mean when we say AI. So AI has been around for a really long time. In fact, a lot of research goes back into 1950s. And up until recently, when we say AI, we really meant machine learning.
Okay.
And machine learning is essentially a process of feeding lots of data that you have. Like, let's say I want to create a machine learning model that understands what flower species this is. And to do that, you feed a picture of the flower, and then you provide annotation saying, this thing that you're looking at in this photo, like this part of the coordination square, it's a flower, and this is a certain species. Let's say it's a cosmos or it's a lily. You give lots of examples of, here's a picture, here's annotation, and that's called reinforcement
Oh, I see.
approach to say, hey, I'm reinforcing you the idea that this flower is this species, or this picture has this flower species in it. And there are multiple machine learning algorithm out there where some are like, hey, this one AI looks at this one AI draws a picture, then this AI judges whether it's a real picture drawn by human or not. And there are a lot of different ways of how machine learning gets used to train, but that's what we've been experienced in like the last decade or so. Like when you upload an expense receipt image, it automatically categorizes and extract the information out of the receipt, and then automatically expense something for you. Or when the transaction from your credit card looks suspicious, your bank knows to contact you automatically, right?
Yeah.
And these are all trained by like, this is what normal looks like, or this is what the receipt looks like. It's really trained for specific use cases.
Yeah.
And in the last 2 years or 3 years almost, generative AI becomes such a sensation where it not only recognize a pattern, it can generate something new.
Oh, so not just helping with trained knowledge before, but now using that to generate like something new, but based on that past trainings or background.
Yep.
Okay.
So those are like a text or image, a video. Now it can generate music, right? That's really good.
Is that the revolution then now? The fact that it can generate versus just
recognizing.
recognize and tell you like what that is.
Yep. And there are many reasons why we were able to achieve the new, I guess, stage of the AI. I think mainly it's the computational power that's available. Again, a lot of ideas were actually written in the paper back in 1950s by smart people that were like in a PhD. It just was not possible to have enough compute power in the world to get to the point.
Right.
I think OpenAI, I think they spend like millions of dollars developing their OpenAI model. It just takes so much time and money and just access to a lot of computational powers to get there. So I mentioned the machine learning, which is recognition of a pattern, and they can just say yes, no, and mainly yes, no, like a type of the answer, like or like a grades of like good, better, bad, or whatever it is, right? And then the generative AI can just now generate a text, generate image based on what it has been trained on, right? Now it's going into a next stage, and this is why it's been hyped up, especially already at the beginning of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
It's the idea of agentic AI. An
Mm.
AI acting as if its own agent, as if its own entity has its own mind.
Oh, that sounds kind of scary
Yeah.
in a way.
It is going towards the AGI, which is essentially like this general intelligence, just like how human would decide what we want to do and decide what we are going to do on its own, right? And that's like I would say final form
Mhm,
of AI. And I don't think we're gonna be there quite yet, but we're in this agentic AI age where the AI is still waiting for your input. Like, let's say I want a research done on the subject of, I don't know, maybe I want to do a subject about how, I don't know, manufacturing industry can leverage social media
mhm,
tools or something like that, right?
mhm,
Previously, you would go to ChatGPT website and then say, hey, how can manufacturing industry benefit from social media campaign? And then it's gonna take about like maybe 10 to 30 seconds to respond back to you, right? With like, hey, that's a great idea. Like manufacturing industry can benefit from social media in these 5 different ways,
mhm,
right? That's how the interaction works. Like I ask one thing, and then it'll tell me another thing. And OpenAI and other cool tools added this like internet search capability where it would also do Google search before it answers. So that it's not just answering from the previously trained knowledge. It can answer information. It can answer your query based on internet search
mhm,
results. Like
mhm,
citing like HubSpot might have a great article about how social media can affect manufacturing industry. Right? So
mhm.
there's like a sources of information that's cited, not just like, oh, I was trained on, I don't know, millions of knowledge and I have no citation for. Instead, now you can cite. What agentic AI enables you to do is kind of like hiring like assistant or intern where you say, hey, I want you to go and do a research around manufacturing and social media.
Mm,
And then when you have a good results for me to review, come back to me later.
mhm,
That's different than saying, I have a question, submit, and then 30 seconds later, I get the answer. We're now in the realm of, hey, I want you to achieve this goal that I have, which is to find out what can be done about the social media and manufacturing. And I want you to go do your own research. Then it can come back, like
Oh.
let's say 30 minutes later, it can come back.
Oh.
And the reason why it takes 30 minutes to do that
Uh-huh.
is not because it just simply do like one time Google search and then like, okay, I synthesize this for you. So you didn't have to Google search. It does that. But once let's say if I were to follow the process they might be going through, like, okay, okay, you want to know about social media manufacturing? Great. Okay. Let me think about how I'm going to solve this problem first. Okay. Maybe I should know and do research about manufacturing industry. And then I should also do some research about social media. Okay, let me go search something about manufacturing industry. Like, okay, I'm seeing some overview information about manufacturing industry. Okay, maybe I should search something about the challenges they might be facing. And then, okay, I'm gonna do another internet search to search about the challenges that they're facing. Oh, there's some interesting thing that they mentioned about manufacturing industry maybe struggling with the finding the customers, the B2B customers, or let's say B2C customers. And then there's something about that mentioned in this article that I should double click on.
Mhm.
And I'm going to think about, okay, let me do another internet search that double clicks on that. As if a human researcher who are doing the study and research would do, right? Like a researcher does not just do one keyword search on Google and then be satisfied with the results, right? They'll read the article and then like realize, I should really dig deeper into this topic that was mentioned in this article. So I'm going to
Mm.
open up another Google tab, do the search, rinse and repeat, and then go deeper and deeper. And then I'm going to think along the way, like, that's interesting. I wonder if I should also look up some information from like HubSpot and other credible sources. What about some market research that's been done by McKinsey and company? It's like I'm actually thinking about how I should go deeper into the subject and sometimes branch off into
Yeah, that's
another
really
thing, then
interesting.
come back.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's less about like I tell you to do one thing and then you did the quickest, simplest thing you can do. Like, okay, I Google for you. Right. That's sometimes what I do with people I talk to. Like they ask me something like, okay, well, just I Googled it for you. Here's an answer. But
Yeah.
it's not just that. It's not just like that one-to-one interaction. It's the self-thinking, its own consciousness of like thinking about steps. Like, did I hit a point where I can confidently get back to my report and say I did enough research, or am I still missing something? Right? Because I get the sense when I do research, like I think this research warrants more digging deeper. I don't think I feel confident presenting this result yet because I don't think I uncovered all the information.
Mm-hmm.
So it thinks it has the reasoning capability to say, like, did I meet the goal? Did I meet the objective? If not, rinse and repeat. And that's why it takes like 30 minutes for AI to feel satisfied with the results.
Whoa.
Does it make sense so far?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's very powerful, I feel like, too. It almost has like an advanced reasoning in a way, right? Where I could see how this could be really useful too with when you put together a social media marketing strategy for a client, for example, right? Let's say, I don't know, it's Kate Spade. They do bags. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you want to do competitor analysis, like for luxury bag brand similar to Kate Spade or something. Like before, I think, or the industry standard right now for doing like competitive analysis is like doing research online, but also like doing interviews like in person too, or like talking to like the audience, like things like that. But now I feel like with this, like you could probably use this to do a lot of like really deep research like ahead of time. Maybe there will still be some aspects where you have to like interview, but then like AI will might tell you, well, this is what you should interview for, or these are specific bag companies that are doing something like interesting or cutting edge that maybe you didn't consider before or something. Like I can see like how it could apply there, like for example.
Yeah. Also, if you think about like, let's say the question is, how can Kate Spade appeal to Gen Z?
Mhm.
Right.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's not just a cut and
Yeah.
dry like research.
Yeah. Because then you need to
Yeah.
understand something about Gen Z. Then, as you're doing research about like maybe fashion and Gen Z in general, and then you might find out that actually they care more about practical, like a cheap and practical, and maybe not like a social status as maybe the older generation may have cared more for. And as it goes into the branch of research, that's not just like a Kate Spade as a keyword,
Mhm.
but let's kind of understand the social graph of this Gen Z generation and look at
Mhm.
their spending habits, and then now synthesize that with like the bad competitor analysis. And like you need to do a lot of research to arrive to a
Yeah.
conclusion, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
it's like too good to be true when you ask ChatGPT to answer the question in 30 seconds. It's like there's no way that
Mhm.
you've done enough of a research to give me the answer about like you might say, oh yeah, great question, maybe, Kate Spade can do these things. But it's like, okay, you just made up 10 ideas that I don't know if you have any research to show for
Right.
why
Like
that idea
it
is good.
sounds maybe good if you know like it sounds like a good solution, but like it actually has no practical legs, I guess, like in doing it because what chat like AI can hallucinate, right? A
Yep.
lot of times too. Like it might not even be
It,
right for your
it,
industry.
if you think about it though, it's less of a hallucination because if I randomly grab you, hey, you have 30 seconds to answer me. how Kate speaks.
You're gonna hallucinate your answer
Yeah,
too in a way.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess it's true.
right.
Yeah.
It's not even like a hallucination. It's like
You're like, oh, let me just come up with an
yeah,
answer.
yeah. You're asking it to come up
Yeah.
with something on the spot,
Yeah.
and that's the problem. And you think like, oh, AI is bad. Like if you do that with a human, you, in a way, AI can probably do a better job instead of like a
Yeah,
human,
probably.
right?
Tap into like the online
Yeah,
internet knowledge
yeah.
base of knowledge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least you have at least AI has some citation that even if it's just a quick googling,
Yeah.
right? So with the agentic AI, like
Mm.
you also don't need to specify steps. You don't need to tell agentic AI, "Hey, I want you to Google keyword search these things."
Yeah, that's crazy because it already
Yeah,
knows that it
yeah,
has to do that.
yeah. Like before it starts tackling the task, there is a reasoning layer that you first go through. So that's why it actually takes way longer than previous AI models people are used to. Before it immediately jumps into answering the question, it pauses like, okay, before I answer your question, let me think about how I should tackle this problem and break the problem into smaller pieces. And then, okay, now let me actually go execute on my planned task.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
previously, when I create like a GPTs or agents, or assistant AI, where I automate some of the tasks, I have to actually give us steps like before you answer my question, please break down the problem into smaller steps. Like I actually have to teach or coach AI
Mm-hmm.
to do that. Now with the advanced models like O1 model from OpenAI, that reasoning capability is built in to the point that they actually say, hey, actually don't give AI your instructions on how to think about the problem. Just let it do its own thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow.
So that's
Yeah.
the agentic AI.
Yeah.
And people use different terms, like people say AI agents
Mm-hmm.
and other terms to describe something very similar.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're really interested in looking up this new advancement, you want to search agentic AI, not AI
Mm, right.
agents, because AI agents, the term is thrown around really loosely.
And that means something else too, right?
It could mean the same thing,
Uh,
but because industry evolves so fast and every company use different terms,
mhm.
like do we say AI or Gen AI or generative AI, or do we say assistant AI, or do we say agent AI or AI agent?
Yeah.
This is such a young industry that we haven't come to a clear definition of like this means this. So when you Google search something, it might pull up article from like 2022 that completely means something else.
Mm.
So you want to search agentic AI, agentic behavior in AI that describes the phenomenon of AI thinking and having its own mind, but not to the level of the like futuristic Terminator thing. But it's
Yeah.
you're still asking it to research something, but you don't need to give breakdowns of how you should go about the
I was gonna
research.
say, yeah, it's actually helping to eliminate that step now because I think like if you really wanted to deep dive and be very prescriptive about how AI researches or answers your question, then you would have to like break it down like make sure you check these sources or make sure you take these steps and then make sure you understand my brand or like why I'm asking this. Like you had to think very deeply about it and maybe that could have taken as much time as your
Yeah,
own research in a
yeah.
way, right?
It's like having an assistant who already knows about your business,
Mhm.
or the assistant who is like, oh man, I love working with this assistant or intern or whoever reporting to you, like, because they, without you giving them instruction, they know, like, they use their own brain to think about like what to do and come
Mhm.
back to me with the good result versus some other assistants or interns, like they really need to be taught how to do XYZ from the beginning, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's how it used to be, but like we're moving into this like capable assistant
Mm.
who's gonna make some assumptions along the way in solving the problem and like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
thank you for saving hours of
Yeah.
time that I didn't have to spend doing it myself.
Oh. Oh, what companies are using it now, or do companies have their own?
they don't
Agentic.
companies don't have their
Okay.
own. It's still only coming from companies like OpenAI or Anthropic, where it's the power of big companies spending a lot of money.
Okay.
They are making those tools available to you, right, through like APIs or through their own interface that you log in and use.
Mhm.
The changes are coming with companies like DeepSeek from China that has achieved something similar at a much lower price and open
Okay.
sourced it so that I, as a engineer, can actually create my own solution that
Oh,
leverages it.
with it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
but a lot of these cool things coming out are still in the hands of like a big tech, and you're just at a mercy of them spending money in research and development. And you just get to use it
Yes,
through
okay.
them. It's changing, but so yeah, I would say like companies haven't quite jumped onto it yet because of the cost or because it's not quite perfect yet. But if companies are interested, now is the time to at least experiment with it and learn its bounds and boundaries and learn like what it's capable of so that you're ready to leverage it. And also, I work for a consulting company, and it's my job to help my clients adopt those cool things without them having to know how to do it. Like I can just come in and tell you what's possible, what's not possible. In a way, I'm the Agentic AI for the clients, right? Because they can just hire me to do the thinking and learning and R&D, and I just come to the solution. So probably easiest for companies is to hire like consultants or those who's already
Like an AI consultant?
AI
Oh,
consultant
I
who's
see.
already experimenting with those tools day-to-day basis. It's
Mhm.
probably difficult to engage with these tech without it because
Mhm.
you might not know how to use it best. Or maybe you're smart, you're tech savvy, but how's the rest of the company going to implement that, right? Because that's where you need help,
Mhm.
professional helps to do that. So
Right. Wow.
the
Agentic
agent tech,
AI.
yeah.
AI is being revolutionized again. I feel like it's like quicker too, like the changes like
Mhm.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah. And with this hype, a lot of companies are now investing a lot of money. And when the money is involved, the evolution of the tech advancements happens really quick.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the only bottleneck would be just the available computational powers in the world. And that's why you start to see a lot of headlines around like companies investing $100 billion into building facilities in data
For like
centers.
the computing
Yeah,
power.
computing power. Yeah. Because without
Okay.
computing power, you can't innovate. It's just like a research paper written back in 1950s where they already knew what was possible, or like they knew that if there was enough compute power, they can prove their theory by just state as a theory. Right now, you can actually execute on your theory, right,
Wow.
really fast. That's why you're seeing why is the government spending $100 billion on the AI incentives? Why is Elon Musk trying to buy OpenAI? That was the headline
Oh
this
yeah,
week
I did see
for
that. Yeah.
around $100 million, right? So they're just
I
like,
feel like it's worth more than that.
yeah, it
Right
is.
now, not
Yeah, it
just a
is
hundred
probably
million,
worth
just a
more.
100 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And SoftBank also recently announced official partnership with OpenAI. So for many organizations around the world,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to get into it, you gotta have to have a partnership with those OpenAI, Anthropic, those who are making strides in the market, because it is really difficult to make that from scratch.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is difficult to integrate with your own system unless you have like a help from those companies. So
Mm-hmm.
right now it's not quite democratized yet or affordable either.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the future is coming pretty quick. So
Yeah.
it's really good to know about it. And I'll
Yeah.
be happy to answer any questions if people want to leave any comments in this video and ask me any question. I'll be happy to answer. And for more content like this, please like and subscribe, and we'll be back again with these episodes. So
Yeah. See. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
bye.
Bye.